Here's Carol. Morning.
I'm saying nothing. Good morning.
Thank you very much for that, Carol. We'll see you for the full roundup in about half an hour's time.
That's right.
The very latest on this, potentially a huge story.
Nina, thanks very much indeed. We will be covering this story throughout the programme. We have a little look at what's going on inside the papers this morning. I've got a story in the Telegraph this morning, and it's talking about a future beyond COVID when we perhaps get to go back to restaurants and bars, when that eventually happens and everything is open again. There's a restaurant here that is looking at the possibility of using robots to serve champagne. What do you think about that then? Would you like that instead of having...
I've got a bevy of insides. I don't even know
You've got more than me.
where to
Go on.
start. Right, shall I do
Go
some
on.
pictures first of all?
Go on.
Have a look at this. This is an amazing picture. The Canary Wharf skyline emerges from the mist, they say, that covered much of the capital. This is taken by a drone over Tower Bridge this weekend. What do you think of that little beauty? Better than that.
Go on.
Wait for this. These are the finalists in the International Nature and Wildlife Photographers Bird Photographer of the Year competition. And this one didn't even win, but it's a vulture attacking. Is it puffling? A baby puffin?
Oh, don't ask me a nature programme, a nature question this morning after my beavers comment. Let's really not go there.
Steady.
Apologies to all the beavers out there who might be watching. You very bright animals. Sticking with a nature theme, have you been watching I'm a Celebrity?
On and off, yes. I'm in and out.
Apparently, all the stuff that you have to eat and drink and have poured on your head.
Crow news.
Yeah, attacked by crows.
I've got a little fact here. Did you know that when Elvis Presley and Priscilla Presley were divorced, that he sang "I Will Always Love You" as they went down the steps of the courthouse after they divorced, apparently?
No.
Dolly Parton has revealed this. She's done an interview with The Big Issue. It's in the Letter to My Younger Self section. And she says one of her great regrets is she turned down Elvis having the opportunity to record a version of I Will Always Love You.
Why?
Because she was slightly... She said it was a silly issue over money, and she didn't realise that she'd have actually been entitled to half the rights of anything that Elvis had off the back of that song. She never realised that. She cried all night long, she said, because I was so disappointed. I knew he loved the song, and I wish I'd let him do it.
I wish she'd let him do it. Can you imagine Elvis singing that? That would have been amazing. Go, sorry?
No, that's the end of that.
Oh, OK. Yeah, should we leave that there?
I think we should.
Yeah, definitely.
It's 24 minutes past 6. Now, there could be a surge upon surge of coronavirus cases in the coming weeks. That's a quote after millions of people travelled home for Thanksgiving, according to America's top infectious disease expert.
The United States has recorded more than 13 million cases and more than 250,000 people have died. Our Washington correspondent Nomia Iqbal reports. It is 27 minutes past 6, so it's time to get the news, travel and weather where you are this morning. Hello, good morning. This is Breakfast with Dan Walker and Sally Nugent.
Coming up on the programme.
Now, the retail giant Arcadia, whose brands include Topshop, Burton and Dorothy Perkins, could face collapse later on today. On what we were talking about there about loneliness, we've got the great Michael Sheen on the programme later, talking about the work that he's doing to help people who might be feeling lonely at the moment.
Something else we've got coming up. Excuse me. Something else we've got coming up later. You know, you were having a bit of a pop at beavers earlier.
Not a pop, no. Just...
Sally said that they weren't very clever. Well, I've been doing some beaver research, and I've got 2 fascinating facts which I'm going to share with you later on this morning.
You're not going to tell me now?
Nope. I'm going to keep you waiting for that beaver information. Excuse me.
Keep watching, everyone. I think at this point, let's go to John so that Dad can recover. Yeah, not all farmers are happy with that at all. We're going to be talking to George Eustace later in the programme about this very subject.
I've also got the First Minister of Scotland, Nicola Sturgeon, who's going to be here at 8:30 this morning. So we've got a really packed programme today. And throughout it, we have dotted the magnificent Carol Kirkwood as well, who's here with a full update for us this morning. Morning, Carol.
Oh, Carol, thank you very much. 11 minutes past 7. Carol is with us this morning. And earlier on in the programme, I think she definitely mentioned snow.
Let's find out. Carol, what's going on? Did you drop it?
You certainly did. You certainly...
Very close attention, Carol. Thank you very much. We'll see you a bit later on this morning.
Especially when she starts talking about snow.
Who is today at the University of Bristol. Dan, good morning to you. So give us an idea of the scale of these tests and how much of a challenge it will be.
Oh,
thank you very much.
Dear me.
It's a lovely thought, isn't it? 20 past 7.
Morning to you, Ben. As you, I mean, obviously, this subject has proved very interesting to us all this morning. Tell us about what's happening and why it's so important that they're being reintroduced in the way that they are.
Skill involved in this and how impressive it is, the sort of building of this dam and what happens after that.
We've been watching this gorgeous little family this morning of beavers. I think it's 2 boys and a girl. What is next for them?
Grills, he's coming up later on the programme, actually.
It is. Yeah.
Here you go. Can you just settle something for us?
Yeah, you need to sort this out, Ben, really.
Are they clever or not?
And, really appreciate you talking to us this morning. Thank you. And thank you to all you who are enjoying the information around beavers this morning.
Yeah, it's been very informative.
We've covered all the
haven't we?
bases, haven't we?
We really have.
And a few extra ones.
I love that answer from Ben about them putting in a beaver deceiver. Did you hear that?
Yes, I enjoyed that one.
Oh dear, all the very best news for you here this morning.
I'm going to stop talking.
Yes, OK, I'm going to carry on. Now, this really is what...
All that on the way for you, but right now it's time for the news, the travel and the weather. We've got the national headlines coming up in just a few minutes' time.
Hello, good morning. This is Breakfast with Dan Walker and Sally Nugent.
It's exactly 7:30. The Prime Minister has called for unity and resolve from MPs. This is ahead of tomorrow's vote on the new 3-tier restrictions for England, which will replace the current lockdown from Wednesday.
Meanwhile, the government is publishing what it calls a roadmap towards the reform of farming. We can get more on this now with the environment.
Should we get the weather with Carol?
Oh, let's go to Carol right now.
Right, OK, let's just do it. Carol, start now. Thanks very much for that, Carol. We'll see you again just after 8 o'clock.
Watch, isn't it?
It's gorgeous, isn't it?
Oh, isn't he fantastic? Adam King and his family, morning to you all.
We're a bit late. Stay with us. Headlines on the way.
Good morning. Welcome to Breakfast with Dan Walker and Sally Nugent.
Headlines for you at just gone 8 o'clock. It's 8:10. It's Monday morning, and it's time to find out what's happening with the weather. Carol has it for us. Good morning, Carol. That's a bit foggy, Carol, isn't it? Come on, sort it out.
Certainly.
Very much for that, Carol. More from Carol in about half an hour's time. And we can speak to Nina, who is in Liverpool and can bring us the very latest on this morning. Nina, what more do we know? Thanks, Nina. I'm sure there'll be plenty more on this story throughout the day. And if we get any more news for you in the time that we're on air until 9:15, we'll bring it to you.
Well, one of the people supporting this campaign is the actor Michael Sheen, who joins us now. Morning to you, Michael.
Good morning.
Lovely to see you this morning. Tell me, how do you feel you and we can make a difference?
What's going on? And tell us a bit about Jeffrey, who is a gentleman that you had a chat with. So what did you speak to Jeffrey about?
Absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
You know, you tell that story and, you can imagine the effect that one person can have on one other person. What should ordinary people do who just want to get involved and help in any way? Does it have to be a phone call? Can you just, what can we do?
Well, Michael, we did something last Christmas. We spoke to a lovely old gentleman called Terence who'd been volunteering through Age UK. And I remember 150,000 people like Terence would spend Christmas Day on their own. And he told us that for 20 years, he would sit crying into a turkey sandwich on Christmas Day, even though there were people on his street who, he spoke to, but they didn't know how lonely he was. And it just makes you think, doesn't it? It sort of breaks your heart to think there are so many people like that who just need a phone call, a board game, someone saying hello to them, whatever it might be, makes a massive difference, particularly at this time of year.
At this time of year, or tricky for people, certainly challenging, but this year, more than ever, is going to be tougher, isn't it, Michael?
Yeah.
Wonderful message, Michael. And can I also say thank you for proving that anybody who watched Stage, the backdrop behind you, you have a fantastic Christmas as well. Hopefully see you soon.
Thank you, Michael.
You
Isn't that lovely? Can you imagine getting a phone call from Michael Sheen? That fantastic voice coming down the phone.
Oh, it was wonderful.
Great.
I'm sure Jeffrey had a great 40-odd minutes on the phone with him.
Yeah, it is at 27 minutes past 8. And Nicola Sturgeon coming up on the programme in just a couple of minutes' time.
Right now, though, news, travel and weather, wherever you're watching this morning. We'll see you in a moment.
Hello, this is Breakfast with Dan Walker and Sally Nugent.
In a moment, we'll be speaking to the First Minister of Scotland, Nicola Sturgeon, who's going to be joining us live on the programme. But right after us at 9:15, it's Morning Live with Kim and Gething. And it's 8:33. Now, the Scottish First Minister, Nicola Sturgeon, says she has never been so certain that Scotland will become independent if there was to be another referendum.
It's led to criticism from opposition parties who say another vote would be divisive and attention should be focused on recovering from the pandemic.
I'm delighted to say the first.
Now, the mass testing of students for COVID so they can go home safely for their Christmas break is starting at many universities across the UK today.
Yeah, if you're wondering, if they test negative, then many students will leave university in the travel window, which starts on Thursday.
Our education correspondent, Dan Johnson, is at the University of Bristol this morning. Dan, are universities ready for the challenge of mass testing?
Been some amazing pictures in the papers today. Can I just have a quick, just show you this one from the Times? I want to show this as we speak to Carol. This is looking out over Tower Bridge with Canary Wharf in the background. You can see the mist. Talking a bit about mist and fog, but you can tell us what's that, Carol. Always a pleasure to spend the morning with you. See you tomorrow.
Right back at you. Thank you. You too.
Right, lovely.
You're in the good books today. I like
Today,
that.
at least, yeah.
No,
Won't last long.
No, it won't. Now, these two have already had 2 #1 albums. Alfie Boe and Michael Ball have made it a hat-trick with their latest record, Together at Christmas.
The duo breathed new life into favourites, such as It's Beginning to Look a Lot Like Christmas, Silent Night, and Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas, to name a few. Should we have a little look before we speak to them?
Wow!
Got a pair of pipes on those two, haven't they? Delighted to say that Michael Ball and Alfie Boe join us. Now, good morning. Welcome back to BBC Breakfast.
Morning, Dan. Morning, Sally.
Do you remember last time you were on, we were laughing about the title of your album because you're together again, back together, and you were giggling about what it would be. But you've gone down the Christmas road. And is it right, Michael? Is this earlier than you intended to bring out a Christmas?
I ask you what it was like working during the pandemic, but I know lots of people at home will be looking at you both thinking, my goodness, you're very close to each
It's really good, by the way.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
prepared for, maybe not, not prepared with trousers, Michael, this morning, but prepared at this
This
point
is
in
the new
time.
look, you don't understand. This is the new look.
It could catch on. You're going to sing
No,
for
it
us, aren't you? You're going to sing something lovely and Christmassy to make us all have a lovely special glow this morning.
Okay. Thank you so much for being with us. I don't know if you missed our beaver chat as well. Did you know that one of the beavers that had been released into Exmoor about 9 months ago that have now built a dam was named after you? Able to break that beaver news to you this morning. Give us an idea then of how badly scouts and beavers and cubs have been affected by what we've all been through over the last few months, Bear. Take us through the sort of figures that you're sort of hoping to raise, because I think subs for these groups are a couple of quid a week, aren't they, normally? And obviously much of that money's been missed out on. So what are you targeting?
So it's
During the last few months about how important it is for mental health to get outside, do some exercise. I think lockdown's been tough for everybody, and you've talked about how you've kept mentally fit and physically fit, and some of it sounds really quite unpleasant. Can you just share with us what you've been doing?
well, I'm
just interested in the window into your world. You get in a pretty cold cow trough for 3 minutes every morning after having a workout. Time this morning, have you been in there already?
No.
Enjoy the trough, and thank you for telling us all about the work you're doing with the Scouts, the Cubs and the Beavers. Bear Grylls, good to have you on the programme.
No worries. Thanks for your support, guys. Thank you.
Sounds a bit chilly, that, doesn't it?
I'm in the trough. I'm there. I'm ready.
That is it from us. We'll be back from 6 tomorrow.
Time now for Morning Live, where they've just left the trough, apparently.